Hey there everyone, welcome back. If you saw my video last week, you know that I made a DIY coffee table for my living room, and you saw that I had a DIY wood slatted wall actually behind me, and I ended up taking that wood slatted wall down in that video because it was not vibing with the coffee table at all, and I really loved the coffee table. So I was left with a blank wall after that, and I told you guys that I would share with you what I do with this blank wall when I figured it out. And I have figured it out today, so that is what I'm going to share with you in this video. If you're new here and you like home decor and DIYs on a budget, stick around by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. Now, let's get started. So here's my living room wall behind my couch. It's really boring, it's blank, it needs something. So I got on Pinterest and I started researching picture frame molding on walls. There's so many different ways you can do this. There's peel and stick, there's budget-friendly ways, there's just so many options. So I figured out what I wanted to do and I got to work planning it. Okay, so this is my little diagram to figure out my measurements for my boxes. So I know that this is going to be my back wall behind my couch. This is the corner where it meets the other wall, and then this side is where the garage door frame is. So I know that in between the corner and the garage door frame, it's 185 inches. So I'm going to write that up here. Okay, and then I know that I want this middle box to be bigger than these two boxes. So I know that I'm gonna make this 70 inches. So I have that. And then in between my molding, I am going to make those spaces 6 inches each. And then coming over from the corner of the wall, and then also coming over from the molding, I know I wanna have 3 inches in between those. Okay. So these are all the measurements that I know. So I'm gonna take those and add those up together. So I'm gonna take the 70 plus the 12 plus 6, and that's gonna give me 88. So I'm gonna subtract that 88 from that 185, and that's gonna give me 97. Then I'm gonna take that 97 and I'm gonna divide that by 2. Because I want to figure out how much these boxes are going to be, what the measurements of these boxes are. So 97 divided by 2 is 48 and a half. And thankfully it worked out to be close to whole numbers for all of this. So I'm going to have these two boxes at 48 and a half, this middle box at 70, have my 6-inch spaces in between, and then 3-inch spaces on each side. I'm also going to do the other side of the garage door where the fireplace is, but that one's going to be its own measurement because it's a smaller space, so I don't have to include that in this measurement. So now I can go ahead and mark all of this on the wall. So to mark my wall, I just used a measuring tape and a Sharpie, and I just measured in from the corner my 3 inches, and then I measured from that 3 inches the 48 and a half inches, and then from that I measured the 6 inches, and then from the end of the 6 inches I measured the 70 inches, and then just did the same thing on the other side of the wall until I got to the door. And then I also used some painter's tape and I taped off the boxes just to give myself a visual to make sure those were the size of boxes that I actually wanted behind the couch. I went to Home Depot to get the molding. I got this polystyrene, I think that's how you say it. I'll leave the measurements down below in the description box. It's white cap molding and it's less expensive than the wood molding, and you can also use miter shears to cut this instead of having to use a saw. So there's a lot of benefits to using this, and it looks just as nice as the wood. Like I said before, you don't need a saw to cut these. I purchased these miter shears off of Amazon. They were around $20. I'll leave a link to them down below in the description box. They're definitely worth it for this project. So all I did to cut them was I just measured the length for one of them, and then I took the miter shears and I cut the length with those the one way, with the shears the regular way, and then I just moved the little piece to the side to 45 degrees to cut my angle, and I did that at the bottom, and then I cut my angle at the top, and that was one piece. And then to do the next piece, I did the same thing, and then I just mitered both sides, and that was really easy. And then you just want to make sure that when you're doing this, you make sure you match up your sides and turn the little thing the right way to miter so that way the edges match up. Then I got all 4 of my boxes done. This is what it looks like when all the corners match up. And then it was time to put everything on to the wall. So I had a laser level, which helped tremendously. And those marks that I did on the wall with the Sharpie, I just aligned those up with the laser level, and I was able to put on the vertical pieces super easy, and I just used my nail gun to nail them up to the wall. And then I did the top pieces. I did use a regular level as well, just to make sure everything was as level as I could get it. And then I did the other side piece, making sure the corners matched up. Now for these 2 boxes, I did not put bottom pieces on these 2 boxes because, well, they were going to be behind the couch, so it really didn't make a difference, but I actually ended up not having enough pieces to finish because I made a couple wrong cuts. But it worked out in the end. Like I said, I didn't really need those bottom pieces. Like if I ever move the couch, I will just go and purchase a couple pieces and fix the bottom because it's super easy to put up, as you can see. And like I said, the laser level helped so much. And when I got to the 3rd box, I realized it would be easier to use the painter's tape and tape up each one of the pieces and then all together tape up the box on the wall so that way everything matches, and then come back and nail it in and then take the tape off. It was just so much easier than doing one piece at a time and nailing it in as I went. That way I made sure everything matched up. So here is the last box on the opposite side of the door frame, and like I said, that one was smaller than the rest of them, but it just finished off that wall. And then to finish off the pieces to make everything flow, I used the Alex Fast Dry caulking and caulked all of the corners, all of the edges, all around all of these boxes. And then all I did was take some of my wall color that I already had, and I painted each piece with a couple coats of the wall color. So you want to make sure when you're doing this to paint your wall first, and then that way you can come back and all you have to do is paint those pieces. And that was it for the picture molding. So now it's time to decorate. So I got a couple wall sconces from Amazon. I'll link those down below in the description box. I hung those up. They were wired, but I don't have wires. So I just omitted the wires and I hung it up anyways and mounted both on the smaller boxes on each side. And then I use these battery operated lights that you just screw right into the light, and then it has a remote and you can control it that way. For the middle box, I got this picture from Target. It's the Threshold Studio McGee brand, and I'm going to use the painter's tape trick where you lay the painter's tape on the back there and you mark your holes, and then you take that painter's tape and put it on the wall and make sure that the painter's tape is level. Again, that laser level helped a lot, and then all I had to do was just make sure the spaces were right and nail in my nails where I marked those on the painter's tape, and then I could hang my picture and it was level, straight, even, all of the above. And that was it. Let's see how this whole room ended up turning out. I absolutely love how this room turned out. I love how the picture molding elevated this room and gave it some character and filled up that blank wall. I still have a few more things I need to add to this room to finish it off, but this definitely is checked off my list, and I love being in this room now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.